This video is about visual algebra strategies. Again, we're going to build a strip diagram and then relate it to traditional algebra. This problem is, Misty spent 2/3 of her party budget on pizza and 3/4 of the remaining money on beverages. She spent what was left on a movie rental. If she spent $4 on the movie rental, what was her total budget? In this case, we're going to draw one big strip to represent Misty's budget. If she spent 2/3 of her party budget on pizza, we need to break our strip up into 3 equal parts. And note that 2/3 of them were spent on pizza. Now I'm going to draw a second strip. We could take care of it in the original strip, but I like to pull out the remaining amount. So she spent 3/4 of the remaining money on beverages. So we'll break down our remaining money. So that leaves $4 on the movie rental. Now we can work backwards to see how much money was in Misty's original budget. When I look at the remaining amount, I can see that I have 4 equal parts, each one worth $4, and so I can calculate the total amount that was remaining. So we know that this remaining amount represents $16. Then, to get to Misty's total budget, we have 3 equal parts, each worth $16. So we took a relatively complicated problem and broke it down with a strip diagram and were able to come up with the solution. Let's use our strip diagram to help us set up an algebraic equation. The first thing we're going to do is define our variable. In this case, I'm going to use the letter y, and the reason I'm doing that is I have a bunch of x's up here just to note that some money has been used up, and I don't want to get confused with those x's. So y is going to be Misty's total budget. There are a bunch of equations that I could set up based on my strip diagram, and I'm going to go ahead and talk through a couple of those just to get us on the right track, but this is a little bit of extra work that's not needed for the problem. So the first thing that I can note is that the pizza budget was 2/3 of the total budget. So I have 2/3 of the total budget is the pizza budget. Getting a little bit more complicated, I can look at the beverages next. So the beverages were 3/4 of the remaining amount, but the remaining amount was 1/3 of the total budget. So for my beverages, I need 3/4 of the remaining amount. But what's the remaining amount? The remaining amount is 1/3 of the total budget. These two were actually extra. We didn't need them for the problem to solve it. Now let's look at the movie rental. The movie rental is 1/4 of the remaining amount. The remaining amount is 1/3 of the total budget. So my movie rental is going to be 1/4 of the remaining amount. The remaining amount is 1/3 of the total budget, and that's my movie budget. And I know that my movie budget, my movie rental, was $4. I'm going to solve this in a particular way to show how it matches our previous work. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation times 4. So notice this 4 times 4 equals 16 matches our first step right here. Next, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation times 3. Notice that the 16 times 3 matches up here. And I get the budget is $48. So in this case, we actually used the diagram to set up the algebraic equations. This problem was different from some of the previous ones because we were looking at a fraction of a whole, so we only drew one strip rather than drawing a strip to represent each of the different parts of the budget. We took the whole budget and then broke it up because we had fractions of a whole.